Today, I want to talk about how we create things in our life with seasons. And I think a lot of people right now are feeling frustrated because they are not producing. We live in a society that constantly wants us to be producers, to be doing things, to be also consuming things. But we have this very hustle mentality that we always should be doing, doing, doing. And I want to really talk about that's not really how life works. It's not how nature works. It's not how the creative process works. And before you tell me that you're not creative, you're always creating things in your life, right? So I'll use the example of like redecorating your house. Um, if you want, that's a very creative act, right? You're thinking about how you want it to look. You're coming up with ideas. You're playing around with those ideas, and you're actually like maybe hiring somebody or doing it yourself to create the look that you want. So that's everything in our life we are creating. So you are creative. Um, and I just want to talk about these. I think about everything in a creative process or a scientific process sort of way, because everything in this world that we live in has a process. So I'm going to talk about that. And if you're feeling um, like you aren't able to do as much during this time, or you're feeling maybe tired, like you need rest a lot, or maybe you're really feeling like you are getting to do a lot right now and you're producing a lot. So I'm going to talk about the different seasons, and then you can kind of think about which season you're in. So I'm going to talk about this creative process, which we all live by and which kind of governs our life. There's a lot of different, processes or seasons to our life, but this is how we create anything. So I'm going to talk about it in seasons, just as a simple way of explaining it. So the first one is winter. So a lot of us might feel during this COVID time that we are in a winter season, and what that really means is it's a time for reflection. It's maybe a time for deep healing. You might find yourself really tired. Um, so like in winter, everything it's really good for actually everything that we've been going through. If you think about what comes before, fall comes before winter. So we're doing a lot during fall, and I'll get to that. But our brain and our body needs a time of rest. It's nature, it's what we need, it's what the creative process needs. Our brain needs time to rest. So, okay, I'm going to take the example of redecorating your house, right? And so if you're redecorating your house, if you have been really busy before this, like say you had another project that you were working on, you might need to take some time to let your mind and your body rest if you were doing a lot, if you were creating a lot. So this is really a time for reflection and letting old things go, resting, things like that. So spring is really a time for germinating, or like the start of things. So thinking about ideas. So you might, in the creative process, you might begin to notice things that you haven't noticed, be inspired, listen to yourself about what inspires you, right? So you've taken that time of rest, you begin to feel the sort of germinating, right? The sort of excitement. Like spring is a time of excitement, like things start coming. It's one of my favorite seasons because you can see like things start coming up. What are you curious about? What's kind of exciting to you? So let's just take that example of redecorating your house. You might begin to notice, or have that feeling of like, oh, I feel like I really want to do this. I want to redecorate my house and begin to sort of notice other people's houses or things online or people are posting, and it kind of stirs this little excitement in you. So you begin to feel this little kind of growth inside of you. It's just really tiny, right? But you begin to notice, and that's a really important thing, is for you not to be able, when those little sprouts start coming up, we don't want to smash them down, right? We want to really be really kind to them and nurture them and give them fertilizer, give them everything that they need. So, you're really like stirring that excitement and getting all kinds of ideas at this time. So summer is really a time of doing things, right? So you begin to, in the creative process, you begin to start bringing ideas together. And it's really about play. It's not about producing yet, right? So we always feel like we need to be in that producing time, but that is not how the creative process works. That's not how life works, right? If you think about when you're pregnant, there's trimesters, there's seasons where things are growing at different times. So everything works this way. So summer, if you're in a season of summer in your life, no matter what's going on, whatever you're creating in your life or the bigger seasons of your life, summer is a time for really bringing ideas together. Playing, the way that we figure out what we want is through play, is through experimentation. If you think about like a scientist, they are doing experiments to find out what is right, what is wrong, right? What do we want? What do we not want? So if you're working on redecorating your house, you're maybe creating a Pinterest board or something, right? Where you're putting ideas together. You're thinking about, what if I did this? What if I did this? And how would this look together? So it's really a time of experimenting, of play. If you think about summer, it's all about play, right? It's all about fun and, going out there and exploring. And so the next season is obviously fall. So you have, in winter, you really let yourself rest, let yourself recuperate, let the old things go. Spring, you started to listen to yourself, what the stirrings inside of you say, those excitements, right? Summer, you begin to bring ideas together. And then fall is really about doing. It's really the only time we're actually producing, right? So, and this is coming from the excitement that we experience, the play that we have learned how to put things together. Fall it's so natural. It just naturally happens, right? From what we've been through. It's just a natural outcome of that whole process. So like, if you're redecorating your house, then you've been through this process and you actually like hire the contractor or you do it yourself. And that's the process. I just want to say we can have these seasons in micro or macro times in our life. Like for me, the past few years have really been these seasons. So a couple years ago, I was in a deep, deep winter. I was letting go for the whole year, right? So it's been like a year of each thing for me. So a whole year of just letting things go. And then last year was sort of like spring, where I was kind of, or maybe spring, summer, right? Like I was getting ideas, and then putting ideas, kind of playing with ideas. And then this year is more of like that fall. It feels like it's sort of overlapping. So it's like summer, fall, where I'm still playing with ideas. I'm not really to fall yet, where I'm actually have a concrete plan that I'm going forward with, but I'm still in that playful summer, almost fall kind of time. It can happen in small times during your day, like if you were say you're making dinner, you know, you're first kind of resting, hopefully, in between work and dinner. And then you're kind of getting ideas, you know, and then you're sort of hopefully, you know, kind of playing or, you know, having a process where you're preparing, and that can really be playful. And then you're producing it and serving it and giving it to others, right? The fall time is really this time of giving, and it should be like a very beautiful thing if it comes from your heart and from this process. So if you're feeling like you are not productive, or you're in a time of play, experimentation, if you are in winter where you just are like completely exhausted, a lot of people are doing a lot of healing right now. It's so, so, so important to let the old things go so that we can move on to what's next. So I hope this has helped you. I know this idea has been very helpful in my life, so just wanted to share that with you right now.